This is Hello Chaos, a podcast for founders in the thick of it. The topic of being in the messy middle is what we like to call it. The questions, the pressure, the chaos no one really puts on LinkedIn. There are no fairy tales here, just the real work of what it takes to start and build a business. Excited to have on our show today. We've got Vida Stanic. She is the founder and CEO of Astute, which is an AI native media communications platform calling out of New York City. Welcome, Vida. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Jennifer. Lovely to be here.
Well, just start us out. What inspired to start Astute?
Wow, that's a big opening question.
Yeah.
Great. My co-founder and I both worked in marketing and tech for years before, and we've seen how marketing can be either really great or really, really bad. Both when we met, one of the things we shared was a hatred for bad marketing.
Yeah.
It's just
There's
terrible.
there's a lot of bad actors and snake oil. So I have Orange Whip, right? Which is the, Hello Chaos and all that. But I started that because of my frustration being a founder of a marketing agency, which I started in 2013 and still, run and operate. But it's like, it used to be such a revered, profession and industry. You get in the agency business and it's this like wonderful, wonderful thing of, most people are like marketing is awesome. But I think over the last 5 to 10 years, it's just, there's too many bad actors, too much junk. Snake oil has infused in our world. And I think people are taking risks, and it's causing people to be lazy.
Exactly. I mean, the first example that comes to my head when we're talking about this is I moved to New York several months ago, as I said, and we live right by Times Square, because that was as someone who's just moved to New York, I thought that was the definition. That was the definition of where to live. And I walk past billboards every day. And the copies I see in some of them, I'm like, I have no clue what this company does. I have no clue what they are trying to sell to me. And I'm like, if you pay that much money, why not just do better?
Right. And that's a lot of those billboards are super expensive.
Exactly. Actually, we had one, but it's a top secret that we actually got it for free. But I'm revealing it to you exclusively here. But no. So when we started working together, my co-founder Abhishek and I really wanted to change the world of marketing. And my background was in media communications. I used to get companies in, let's say, publications such as this one, even locking in podcast opportunities that would just get our story out there, that would get us loved and known in our community. And it was really hard. I'm not sure if when you speak to brands, they find it really hard to find people like you. So we're building a way for every company to be able to get their message out there and do it really well. So it's not bad marketing.
So is Astute kind of like a matchmaker between media outlets and brands?
Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect way to describe it. So we've built a huge network of podcasts, newsletters, Substacks, LinkedIn creators, Twitter creators, anyone who is building a platform that speaks to large audiences and is genuinely publishing excellent, well-researched, good content. And we connect brands to these people when there's like a really good fit in terms of the audience match, location match, size of the reach match, but also just genuine industry and compatibility on both sides.
So what's been the most challenging part of building this platform and starting the business? Yeah.
So many. One of the most challenging parts of building this exact platform, and this is the second thing my co-founder and I built together.
Okay. What was the first thing that you did?
So we started as a AI engine optimization tool. Back in the summer last year, which is basically if you want to get your business appearing in ChatGPT or Claude, in the response, we were going to help you become more visible, and we would track how visible you are. That did really well in the first few months. We got really quick revenue from amazing big customers. And then the space overnight like this became super crowded. There was a company that was funded in New York City, actually, by one of the largest VC funds. And then all the other companies that were already in America, already kind of a bit further ahead of in the journey from us, just started winning and we were like, we don't have a chance in this business.
Right.
But actually also when we weren't going to be defeated by that, we're quite like that. We're quite stubborn. But the business itself was challenging to build. It's a very black box business. You depend too much on what ChatGPT is releasing as a next update or Claude is. It's a great business if you were focused on analytics. It's not a great business if you actually want to do marketing, which is what we wanted to do.
Okay. So it was finding the clients and then proving that value to the clients, all of that. Like that was the...
Yeah, I would say we got customers, as I said, really quickly, and got to like tens of thousands of ARR within weeks.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that was incredible. And it was actually really hard to fire these customers after when we pivoted.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you have to, right? Have to say goodbye. But we felt like we wouldn't be able to serve their best interests long term, which their interest was appear more in ChatGPT.
Right.
At the time, and things have changed a bit, there is no reliable way that I can promise you I will get you more visible. I can try to do things to get you more visible, but it doesn't quite feel like what you want me to do.
Yeah. Everyone wants kind of guaranteed. Nobody likes to hear the, like it's the SEO. You just have to do
Exactly.
it. And it's a long, it's not guaranteed. If you want guaranteed, do the pay-per-click.
Exactly.
And search. So yeah, so it's like similar to that of it's organic. It's, we can do all the right things, but it's still not guaranteed. And your clients were like, we want it to be guaranteed.
Exactly.
Then we're just selling ads.
Yeah, exactly. And we were like, well, you don't need to work with us then to do that. Just continue doing what you were doing all this time.
Right.
But the inspiration for Astute came from there because we realized how much, basically, if you think about appearing more and what AI engines index on, they index on external content a lot. Right. So they love that, like, our business is going to rank higher now that I'm doing this podcast with you.
Right.
And we thought, well, this is going to be a growing space, and getting into more media is going to be a growing space. So we should just build that infrastructure for AI engine optimization almost. And we think that any brand in the next 10 years that doesn't have that strong, let's say, digital brand image is not going to do well because agents are not going to be picking up on them and suggesting them.
Right. Well, and especially you said that you were also looking at including podcasts, Substack, LinkedIn influencers, like deep content, good content, real, I would call it real publications, not the AI produced.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. That's just,
so much
made up publications that aren't real. They're just curated links.
We've seen so much of that, but luckily they're getting filtered out quite easily. And I think, yes, we've seen that. And I think good content at the end of the day will win. The people that talk about real stories, research real stories, and talk to other real people will prevail. So I think you're going to do really well. I'm not worried about you in the podcast.
Yeah. So Astute works direct with brands, or do you guys work with agencies? Or is
we
it a
work
mix
with
of both
brands and agencies. Yeah. Okay. So I would say our primary focus is working with B2B companies.
Okay.
Mainly because our product is fully autonomous and it basically works on autopilot. So to walk you through the journey, you would log into the dashboard, you would create your account. We would build you a very data-rich profile, ask you a few questions just to make sure that we're on the right track. And then you would tell us what you want to achieve today. Do you want to launch a new product and you want to shout to the world about it? And we would instantly make you matches with 10 to 15 creators, such as even yourself, that we think would be the right fit. And you tell us if that's the case. And then we go and do all the work for you. So a brand can do it on their own. However, I think there's a lot of companies, and you know this from your experience, that don't have the capacity to manage even an additional piece of advertising, brand work, etc. And they work with agencies, and agencies love our product. It makes their life so much easier, frankly.
Yeah. So, because they don't, a lot of agencies might use, a Cision or a Muck Rack or whatever, but that's just sending releases. It's not getting guarantees. You can do pitches that way, but it's not really like a placement matchmaking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very, the way we differentiate, there's a few things. First, with Meltwater Cision Muckrack, it's mainly older and bigger publications that they
Yeah.
work with. We work with, as I said,
Because I don't
creators,
think they have
subscribers.
podcasts in there. I don't think they have anything on Substack in there. Yeah.
No, it's also really hard to build. So actually, you asked me this before, building a database of Substacks and podcasts and
Yeah.
onboarding them and building that network has been a long journey for us, but we've been doing well and we've hacked a few ways on doing it, which have really been game changing for our business.
Mm.
And actually, sorry, it's probably important to notice, I discovered you and your podcast through our tool.
Yes.
Yes, you've been
We're
discovered.
legit. We've
And it
been
worked.
discovered.
I know. I don't know who should be happier, me that my product works or you that you've been discovered.
I love it. That is awesome. That's like the best news.
I'm glad.
So that's fascinating. So, and you said you have a co-founder.
I do. I
So
do.
how were you guys colleagues, peers? I mean, how did you guys form the relationship to go, okay, this is, and then like you said, you guys went and did one business and then said, okay, we're going to go into another business together. So clearly there's a good working relationship and chemistry, but talk to me about that process and how does that work?
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah,
Do you have a co-founder?
I do not. Mm-mm.
Well, I have to say, my co-founder is one of the most brilliant engineers I've ever met. I worked with many. I come from a background where a whole company that I worked at before was just engineers. And I was one of the few commercial people there. And when I met an engineer that blew me out of the water with his ability to think commercially and build beautiful experiences for customers, as well as build it really quickly and really well, that nothing breaks, and has the commercial sense to think, would someone actually buy this, or am I building
Right.
something that feels nice? I
And
immediately
it's a
wanted to work with him.
scalable, like,
Yes.
right.
So yeah, he's just he's incredible. Hopefully he doesn't hear this and he gets into his head. But we actually had an interesting journey for young founders. So we both quit our jobs to join a pre-idea accelerator back in London. So you come in with no idea, no co-founder, and then you get matched, similarly to how Astute matches
Oh, nice.
people. Yeah.
Okay.
So we met there and we had similar backgrounds, loads of conversations, and basically started working together really quickly and never really looked back. It was a cohort of 40 people. I still think I would always work with him. He's amazing.
Wow. So it was an accelerator specifically for bring your ideas, see if you mesh, and then actually try to pair you with another founder?
Yeah, yeah. So
Wow. Okay.
it's kind of like in a movie. It's a bit movie-like because
Yeah.
just to I guess take a step back. I heard about the accelerator for years, but never really felt like I don't code. I wasn't technical enough. This was, you have to imagine, like a year ago, even a non-technical person couldn't code because the tools just weren't there. They were kind of
Right.
getting there. And I was like, oh, I'm just not never going to be able to work in like to be a founder, or like, I
Right.
don't write a line of code. But they reached out to me. They got me to come in and made me an offer, and they paid us all to kind of come and do that and quit our jobs to do it as an incentive. And they bring a bunch of really, really smart people together. So from top universities, Oxford,
Right.
Cambridge, ex-Tesla, we work with ex-Palantir guy, etc. And I remember just coming in and not really knowing what to expect. And then the first 10 days were just like a bunch of us going and doing these meetings to see if we have anything to work on together. And we would do these like whiteboard sessions where we would just write everything we're good at, everything, so skills wise, and then everything we know about anything. And then be like, well, you have some skills and I have some skills, so maybe we should try.
Right.
It was an experience.
Well, that's fantastic. Like we only hear, like I've heard a couple of those scenarios and programs here in the U.S., but it's super rare. We've run into a couple of like founder matchmaking services or platforms, but not in an accelerator type of format. That's fantastic. So then, did you guys both decide we're going to move from London to New York City, and this is where we're going to plant the seeds and kind of grow and flourish the business? What was in that decision?
Yeah. Again, serendipitous. We finished the program in London, came up with an idea, as I said, the AI engine optimization idea. And then as we were finishing up the program, decided to pivot in the last minute to what we do
Mm-hmm.
now. And the program ended, so we didn't have the support of advice of the program or even the office or anything. Kind of just left on our own. And as young founders, we've never
You're
done
like, and you're
this.
done. Bye bye.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it was very, very, very much like that. They were great, and they do support founders, but they just finished with our cohort, and they had a next batch coming, and it just didn't make sense to continue working with us full time. And we applied. We were trying to obviously continue running the business and see what the next step would be, and we were planning to fundraise, and we were trying to find prospects. And I was on LinkedIn Sales Navigator trying to find heads of growth or communication to sell the new product to. And I bumped into someone called Karen, and it said Entrepreneurs Roundtable Accelerator. And I was like, well, we could just use an accelerator, but the one that gives you funding actually this time. And because obviously we're going to run out of our savings at one point. And to be honest,
it's like, we need some money.
Exactly. And like revenue is fine, but we wanted to just move faster. And we applied. I applied that night. The deadline was next day. 3 calls later, this accelerator based in New York invited us to come to New York to interview with them in person. And we came, and within 12 hours, they gave us an offer and we moved to New York. It was as simple as that.
So how was the ecosystem, the entrepreneurial kind of, I call it the innovation ecosystem in New York? I mean, you talked about it being from the first business, super competitive, people, had a funding. Now that you've kind of pivoted into this within the ecosystem, how is it? What are the resources? Are there gaps that you see in that ecosystem, or is it really robust and connected?
Yeah, good question. Actually, great question. So we were first in London, then we're planning to move to San Francisco and then move to New York. So I think 3 major cities really in the play for us. London is incredible. London is home for me, even though I come from Serbia. I've lived in London my whole adult life, and when I get homesick, I miss London. But it's getting to the speed and pace, let's say, of I would say innovation and risk taking, but it's not there yet with American cities such as New York and San Francisco. Now, New York versus San Francisco, both are amazing. I've been to both. I've worked in both cities a bit, now working in New York. I think San Francisco is very different. It's very isolated. You have less distractions, I would say. It's quite,
interesting.
it's a bubble.
Okay. Yeah.
But there is
protected, yeah.
It's very protected, but there is incredibly smart people there, and you will on every corner meet someone who is building a business and is selling it has millions in revenue overnight, and they're so excited and they want to tell you all about it and they want to hear about it and they want to help you. And it's just so it's a bubble.
Is it ultra collaborative in that sense?
Collaborative in that sense. Okay. Everyone is introducing you to everyone, but everyone works in tech. In New York, I mean, is not like, it's a huge city. I live Broadway. Like my flatmate is an actress. Another one is an artist. They're not tech people, but at the same time, they're amazing people, and you get to meet more people and they will know other people, but it's just different in that sense.
Yeah. You're getting a broader spectrum of maybe entrepreneurism of you'll see it in arts and food and not just tech. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. And we were still forming our opinion for which city is best for building our startup. New York is a media capital, so and generally marketing capital, so probably going to stick around.
All the big agencies and the connections are all there. Yeah,
exactly. So New York is great. You should consider it.
Have you found that you've been welcomed within the media industry? Because the media industry is old school and traditional, and sometimes they kind of, they don't like new shiny things.
So one thing that's interesting I think there's a few things at play. First of all, there is a big wave of innovation going through now that everyone is taken by. And when we speak to media companies and media monitoring tools or anyone in the space, they generally are open to and welcoming just because they want to keep up with the change. We speak to big agencies. They do want to try the product and they're using the product. And we sell to agencies, as I said, as well. We don't consider our tool as much of a media communications tool anymore, as much as opening up a way for anyone to just reach new modes of media. So it's media, but it's media revisioned, I would say. Media V2.
Right.
And it's
Media
different.
outreach, it's publicity, it's I don't know, matchmatching.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, so what's been the most rewarding part of your journey so far?
That's a great question. I think the first one was when we got our first customer ever, which was when we were selling a different product. But I remember I was telling my co-founder actually last night, we were coming back home at a very late hour from the office, like 1 a.m. And I was in a bit of a delusional state, and I was just reflecting on the past. Yeah. And I was like, do you know, when we started when we started working together, I said, I didn't think I could sell anything. I was like, I don't know. I never actually jumped on a call and sold someone my product that I've built. And he was like, yeah, but you've done so well. I was like, yeah, I know. And then when it worked, I was like, oh, this is going well. I think I'm okay with this.
Celebrate those wins. That's so fun that you
Exactly.
got to reflect on that. I love
Yeah.
that. So as you're kind of climbing through this journey of now you've built this product, now you're kind of building a business. Part of that of building the business to scale is operations. Have you experienced a bottleneck yet? Even if you're the bottleneck of I need to fix this. And what did you do? Even if you're sitting in it, talk about that. But if you've overcome it, what was that breakthrough?
Yeah. Wow, that's a big question, and so many reflections on that, especially as we started scaling a lot lately. We have a few interns, and we're going into hiring a full-time role soon, and we're also fundraising as part of everything going on. And I think when we moved to New York, we have one of our advisors, like someone really close to the business, is an excellent entrepreneur that sold his company within 8 months of building it to Adobe. Wow. And built what's now Adobe Podcast. And he's absolutely brilliant. And I just remember sitting in his office 2 months ago and saying, I can't do it all. I was like, I'm drowning, like physically drowning in work. And he's like, welcome to the next 10 years of your life. And I was
That's
like,
right.
I was like, thanks, Mark. I think operational bottleneck, and I really reflected on that, and I realized the operational bottleneck is giving other people things that you think you can do the best and no one else can do as well as you as a founder. When you start going from being just the two of you to actually hiring people,
right,
it's really hard. Like, I think I'm the best at everything relating to our business.
Right.
I'm joking. No, but it's really
it's a
hard.
thing with founders. We struggle, and this is a theme that we hear all the time on the podcast. Is letting go.
Yeah,
is the
it's so hard.
thing.
It's easy to find tools and help, and there's people who are brilliant. It's difficult for us to say, I am happy to delegate, and it's hard.
Right. You almost have to, I had to train my brain to go, I have to do it with intentionality because I've got to make sure it's shared thinking. I can't just delegate because that's what I was like, yeah, sure, get it off my plate. And then I'm like, ooh, that's not that I would have done my way. It was more of like, I didn't put guardrails up to protect them, the clients, the company. So it was like, ooh, that was my lesson learned of I need to do it with more intention. But also hiring people is super hard.
Oh my God. I'm learning about all of that now. And also
you're in the messiness.
Managing people as well. I'm like, I think I just want everyone to care as much as I do and to love this business as much as I do and to treat it as like the only thing in their life. And then, my dad is also an entrepreneur. So I remember
Did he say that's not how that works?
No. So this is even worse. Let's say a year ago, maybe, he came home and I was back in Serbia visiting, and he's like, it's Christmas Day and, people have gone on a holiday. How dare they go on a holiday and not reply to my text? And I was like, this is a job for them. Like, why would they don't care? And I'm the same now. I'm like, why is anyone taking time?
Why is anybody responding to me?
Literally. Like, do they not care? And I'm like, well, they do care, but this is not their business and it's fine. Right.
Yeah. We care way more, and we wear lots of hats, and it's our job to figure out what hats are we ready for other people to wear and take care of. Oh, yeah, you're in that messy middle. So is your dream or is the goal for you and your founder, are you guys looking for like a larger media company to buy? Is that what you are hoping is the exit? Or are you like, no, this is something we want to build and we want to have, and create a legacy brand? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, it's one of the first things we ever talked about. I think it was really important for me to start working, pair up with someone who has the same vision of the future.
Mm,
So if we got a $10 million offer tomorrow, him and I are aligned on what's the next step.
right.
And from the day I met him, we shared a vision of building something life changing, and not life changing in terms of the money we make, something that's really going to revolutionize the space we're in.
Yeah.
So we want to build, people call that a unicorn. Genuinely, obviously, our investors care about that. We have investors
Right.
and they obviously want us to be a unicorn because that makes a return for them. But for us, it's building something that really changes the way companies market. They
Mm,
build their brand, and we can help them with that in a really in a way that has a lot of quality to it, and it's not just another tool in their stack. We have a big vision of where the marketing is going and how we can use AI to operationalize some of the boring stuff that nobody cares about doing, and
right.
creative people can just do the creative work and
Right.
manage the AI tools more than anything.
Right. As we say, it's the human layer needs to be the strategist, the pilot, the
Exactly.
creator, or, the leader of that. And then let the AI do the other stuff.
Exactly. I mean, I don't think part of our tool is crunching thousands, if not millions of data points. And there's data analysts, I'm sure, that enjoy doing that in finance and stuff. I don't think a single marketer I've ever met enjoys looking through spreadsheets. That's maybe
No.
my very, very honest take.
Yeah.
A very big
For
take.
coming from someone that was my job in agency world, was looking through the spreadsheets. I appreciate AI.
Literally same. Another thing I really dislike is just like writing thousands of emails. And I actually now voice transcribe everything, which has been
Hmm.
great because I'm a slow typer. For some reason, I don't type as fast as everyone else around me. But my clarity of thought comes when I speak out loud. And part of it is like now I can shoot off so many personalized emails just because I'm talking, and the voice transcription AI has gotten so good, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I have not. I know Chandler, our producer, who's sitting here. He uses the voice transcriptions a lot. I have
Oh,
not,
really?
and it's gonna. I don't like it because I don't like my voice.
You just have to get over the barrier. I do it all the
The
time now.
barrier of that, I know, and I to me, it's like it's my quiet moments of
Mhm.
for me talking out loud. I think I'm in my head enough that I need to that I need to make the notes, and like my phone is ridiculous. I use the phone notes and probably to its capacity, but yeah, like I don't know if I talk to my phone, I think I would go mad.
Well, if you ever want to try, actually, interestingly enough, I use a tool called Whisperflow. But I was just reading as I was jumping on this call that Google just released their new voice transcription tool.
Oh,
Um, and let's see if it's good.
yeah.
I'm
Is it
curious to
Google
test that.
Voice? Is it called Google Voice?
I actually
With
don't know
their
what it's called, but that would
all
be a
their
great name.
names of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So I was gonna, now that you're wearing all the hats and you're starting to get that in that point of scaling, right? Hire people. You're dealing with people, right? The human element of the business. How are you dealing with stress and creating routine? Like, do you have routines that you have that you've kind of said, I need to do this for my own sanity? Are there routines that you and your co-founder have had to do together so that, have you guys implemented it to keep sane, to keep on track, to keep focused?
Yeah. No, 100%. That's been a big one for us. I am a very, very organized person. I have a semi attachment that's kind of unhealthy to organization. So I plan everything to the point where, just like an anecdote from personal life, if I go on a trip, you will get like an hour by hour itinerary with hours that are not doing anything because we are exploring. Like it's planned. I'm a bit like that. So, and my co founder on the flip side is he he's not like me. He is very
He appreciates your organization.
he appreciates the structures I've put in place, and he sometimes follows them and sometimes doesn't, and that's fine. That doesn't give me any sense of any bad feeling at all. But no, I think we make a great team in a sense that I love structure and he thrives in a structure that works for him.
Yeah.
He needs the freedom, but he also works well when someone puts structure in place. And I think we've really paired up well on that.
Some people can't come up with their own structure. So and if he self-realizes I can't do it, but I will follow a structure that's given to me to thrive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he is an engineer, so he's never had to work in I think a role where you have to wear like 100 hats. Luckily, I did that before because I used to run growth for startups, and in most of these companies, you kind of just like do everything and anything. So you just kind of learn how to be very structured. But that really helps me with stress. If there is a plan in place, that's one thing. There needs to be a plan. I need to know what I'm working on. Secondly, I need to believe in that plan. So something that I was taught in my previous role when I was running growth by the CEO, that was the concept of the highest order bit, which is always work on the single one most important thing that will drive the business forward. I wake up every day and I'm like, am I working on the highest order bit? If I'm not, I need to rethink everything because there's no point in me doing anything that day or like moving. Like, of course, admin stuff doesn't fall into that, but what is the single one thing I can achieve that day that will genuinely make us grow and do better? And I think those two things just really, really help if for me to just not feel stressed, because I know I'm working on my business and making it grow. I know all the things I have to do, and I'm going to prioritize in the best possible way.
And then through this process, what do you think you've learned about yourself that maybe surprised you through this?
That I didn't know what a CEO does before I started being a CEO. I kind of just thought, I was again talking to someone about this the other day. I was like, I thought, I'm good at all these things. I'm good at public speaking. I'm good at sales, roughly. I'm good at doing a few different things. I was like, I can be a CEO. I have some ideas. I think I've learned
that. Business.
Yeah. I was like, sure, I can do it. We're like 9 months in now, and I've learned that I have so much to learn. Honestly, I have 2 weeks ago, one of our interns, Joella, she was like, Vida, can we jump on a one-to-one call? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, also, like, please feel free to book them in my diary. Like, I'm here all the time. And she's like, you haven't given me any good feedback in 2 weeks. And I was like, I was like, have I not? And I was like, I think you've been doing an excellent job. And she's like, yeah, you've only pointed out the bad stuff. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I think you're doing an incredible job.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I've learned. Apparently, I'm not great at giving feedback. And that's just one of the small minor things of the job that I am learning on the go, which is fun.
What do you like about yourself as now that you've stepped into this leadership role that you wish other people recognized more?
Wow. I need to think about that one.
Yeah.
What do I like about myself that I wish other people recognized more? I think one of my biggest strengths, and I think is going to come through it's going to be recognized more, especially as we fundraise, is, and this is like maybe a bit arrogant to say, but I get things done. Like, it's just like, I will make something happen if it needs to happen, if I believe that that's the best thing for our business. And that's like, it comes from like a delusional sense of anything is possible. Like there's no even, like, sky is not even the limit.
Right.
But I think that delusionality sometimes with most things has made us move so much faster.
Yeah.
Like
I don't see it as delusional. I think it's more of, you've got a mix of optimism, hope, and tenacity.
That is true, exactly. However, tell that to my team, who sometimes doesn't love some of these last minute, let's say, changes.
We got to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think there is like a part of it that people appreciate because they see the results like 2 months after. But in the moment, they hate me. Like, my co-founder has probably hated me for the last month. He loves me, but I moved our launch up by 3 weeks. I woke up one day and I was like, why are we not launching this weekend? And I called him and I was like, is there a reason why we are launching in 3 weeks instead of this weekend? And he was like, no. And I was like, well, we shouldn't do it. And he's like, yeah, but the product is the thing. And I was like, sure, let's do it. And he stayed up for 6 days in a row. He literally slept a few hours that week.
Wow.
But we made it happen. And I'm like, And look at us now. We, since doing that, onboarded, I think, 60 new customers just because we
Wow.
did that launch. I mean, we wouldn't have been there if we didn't push it, let's be honest.
Right. No, that's good. I know that's the biggest challenge of how do you bring people into your vision, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to, I think, and luckily, I think I'm very good at convincing people that my way is
The
the way
better
to
way.
go. Yeah.
Well, especially if you're, yeah, and if the co-founder, who's the engineer, was like, "All right, let's do it,"
Yeah.
and then seeing the results and the success, that always, then you can
Yeah.
celebrate
Yeah.
it.
I think people just sometimes, I think I've learned really well with my co-founder what's his ability, and I sometimes push it. I think I push it. I think there was no need for him to stay up. We should have probably done that a week earlier, and he could have like gotten everything done. At the same time, I think if I know something is the best possible decision, I'm happy to take that hit in the moment. And I think it's one of those things that over time, as we grow, people are not gonna appreciate that much. But
That's
you
right.
just, yeah, it's
Just
fine.
got to
I'm going to
do
have
it.
to learn to navigate it, I think.
That's right. So, if you had to sum up your journey in one word, what's your word?
I think, yeah, this is and I reflect, I have a big vision board in front of me, which helps. It has two words on it. One is consistency. And I think just for the context, I was born and raised in Serbia, and then I moved to UK on a special talent scholarship when I was 17 on my own. So my whole family is back in Serbia. They don't
Wow.
speak a word of English. And the only way I think that happened was because I was a straight A student. Then I went to university, I went to school, and I was a straight A student. And then I went to uni, and it was COVID, and I didn't make a single friend because I was the only person on the campus. And I couldn't go back to my home country because there was a lockdown, but I did really well. And then I got my first job and then got promoted really quickly, and then and then left that job because I was poached. And then basically, not that I'm proud of this, but they let go of my manager and made me the manager within like a month into the role. And I think none of it has to do with special talent or anything. I just work really hard. Like I think about this and I think the consistency of waking up every day and putting those hours in and putting every single day, 7 days a week, the time and the effort. And just because I know where I want to get to is actually probably been my journey so far. And it's going to continue being my journey.
Yeah, that's good.
That
They
kind of
always,
like self-boasting a bit, but I'm like, I think this is the most important thing. I think the hard work is 99% of it.
absolutely. And they say that too. It's like you could be the most brilliant person, but if you don't have the grit and the gumption
Yeah,
to just get it
exactly.
done. I mean, I know that we say hustle is that word, but you have to have that. You have to
Yeah.
have that constant, that's where success comes from. It's that attitude of
Mhm.
just go, just do it,
And just
get it
never give
done.
up. Like be
Yeah,
consistent. Yeah, like be consistent and I just remind yourself of where you want to get to. I mean,
right.
my partner describes like we had one setback on the journey at one point and it was tough and he said I thought you would be in bed for months, and we were very early in our relationship then, so he didn't know me that well. And he was like, you went home at 4 p.m. that day because we worked in the same office. You came home and then you came back next morning, and I was so surprised to see you awake and going to the office. And I was like, what did you think I was going to do? Just like cry for a month? No, I
Right.
was going to make it
You're like,
work. It's
no.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the word consistency because, we talk about this in branding and even like our personal brands. The more consistent you are, through hard work or whatever you want your brand to be, that consistency is what develops trust. Because if
100%.
you're not consistent, if you're like one day doing this way or saying this but acting this way, that's what breaks trust
Mhm.
with leadership, and I think that's a wonderful word to
Yeah,
use.
and I think something you really interestingly touched upon now. My best friend in the whole world, she's really famous influencer in back in Serbia, and we were talking about she was just visiting and in New York last week, and we were talking about how in her line of business, she will never be able to stop in what she does. So she has to wake up every day and make content, and she needs to stay relevant, and she needs to get people to trust her, as you said. And it's I think I don't think I've ever even realized that. And I was like, well, we're building for people like her
Right.
Like, big part of our business is obviously we focus on newsletters and podcasts, but these are people with influence. They're not called influencers because there's just like a bit of a terminology thing there.
Right.
But they face the same thing. You face the same thing. You have to wake up every day and continue making podcasts, because if you don't, it's just going to stagnate. No one is going to follow anymore.
Right.
It's hard.
Absolutely. So if you look ahead to the next chapter in your journey, what word do you want to define that chapter?
In the spirit of this conversation and learning on the go, I think progress. I think progress is so big, and it's across my whole vision board. I'm just looking at it. It's like 2026, and then progress is right underneath. And we need to make progress as a business. I need to make progress on some life goals I have, but I also need to just make progress in every single thing I do as a leader, as a CEO, as a founder. I need to continue learning every day and growing every day and just getting better. And if I'm not making progress, I'm doing something wrong, I think.
Yeah, that's a good word. It's a good word.
Thank you. Try.
And what advice would you give our listeners? Either something that you've received and you've really taken to heart, or things that you've learned and want to share?
If they're considering having a business or starting a business, there is no better time than today. It's so, if they have an idea, if they have that consistency we talked about and they want to do it, there is no way not to do it. There's no reason not to do it. I quit my job with very, very poor planning on my side, but with very limited savings and no technical skills, and basically not much to fall back on if it doesn't work out, apart from the fact that I'll be hireable. I could get a job, and I never look back. And I think it's an incredible time to be a founder, and they should do it if they're thinking about it.
Very good. It is a good time. Absolutely. And then if we meet a year from now, next summer, I'm up in New York and we're going out for cocktails. What are we celebrating? What win are we celebrating?
Great question. I'm pretty sure my fundraising will come up with that question as well, so I should practice it the next few weeks. We have some business goals that we're really big on. We want to make our platform the platform of choice for thousands of businesses, and there is ways to measure that. It's probably an ARR metric, or the number of matches we've made, or the number of campaigns that have gone through our platform. But I think the real thing we should be celebrating at that point is feeling like we genuinely believe we have a product market fit. And whatever that looks like, I can't wait to have cocktails over feeling like there's no doubt we have built something that thousands, millions of people will use, and they love using it.
All right. We're manifesting it, putting it out in the universe.
Yes, 100%.
And hopefully we'll be able to celebrate that with you next year. We'll be keeping watch.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you hanging out with us today, Vida. It was great chatting with you. I'm going to be looking more into Astute as an agency, and because you got my brain thinking.
Great.
But before we go, where can people learn more about you, Astute? Where do you want to point them to?
Great question, and look forward to catching up. The best way is to go to our website, joinastute.com. And if they want to reach me directly, which I welcome everyone to do, it's vida@joinastute.com.
Very good. And we'll tag all that, and it's in the show notes. This was fantastic.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on today's chaos, but the work doesn't stop here. If this episode felt fun and familiar, you're not alone. Subscribe, share, and leave us that 5-star review on Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really does help more founders find their way through all the clutter and noise that is out there. And if you're craving clarity, not more chaos, our sponsor, Bright Marketing, offers a founder clarity sprint designed to help you get unstuck, focused, and moving forward with confidence. And you can explore that along with more founder tools and episodes over at orangewip.com. That's orangewip.com. That WIP stands for work in progress, because all of our businesses are not only a work in progress, but we as founders are also a work in progress. Or you can always shoot an email to hello@orangewip.com. Until next time, stay curious and stay scrappy, and we will see you again next week.